Today's episode, we show you how to make a cover for the 15 bolt shave using the TMR kit. I'm starting out with a Motobilt 13 bolt shave cover. I'm going to go ahead and shorten it. Right now I'm putting it on the housing to see where it all lines up, making sure all the bolt holes will still go in before I tighten everything down. Once I get that done, I'm going to flip it up, make a mark so we know where to cut the cover. I've already shaved the housing. That's going to make it a lot easier on everything. Once we've got those marks, we're just going to flip it over. Make those marks a little bit better to see by extending them and just use a straight edge to go across. It'll give us a good reference point, and then just kind of checking to see where we're at, making sure there's nothing wildly out of line. As you can see, I was having trouble trying to cut it on that surface. A tip I like to do is I'll cut straight down because it'll cut straight down easier. I'll cut in a little bit straight down. That'll give my Sawzall somewhere to bite, and it'll go through there a lot easier. Next, it's just kind of watching your lines and make sure you're not cutting all the line out. I like to cut it a little high because I can always come back with the grinder and grind it off versus having to weld something back on and try to grind it. It'll just make it a lot easier that way. Getting through those welds was really tough. Sawzall blade didn't want to go. Just checking to see, make sure that my cuts are all kind of square, and then seeing what places run even, and I'm taking those down a little bit at a time, trying to get right to my line so I don't have to do anything. It'll fit up good. Now I'm checking right here where everything was really thin. I'm just grinding that back because you want to make sure that when you go to weld it, you got enough material there to weld to. Here I'm about to grab the TMR DIY 15 bolt shave plate. This is for using when you have your own metal cover. You can buy their kit, but this right here is just the top plate that goes on a cover. I already had these Motobilt 13 bolt shave covers, and I wanted to try to get a little bit more out of it, so I figured I'd buy one of these. They're pretty cheap. They're like $170, I think, plus shipping, and you just cut out your cover and weld it in just like you would do their full kit, but it's just the plates themselves. You know, kind of what you see is what you get type deal. Here I am lining everything up so I can tack it to the cover. You want to make sure when you do get everything kind of lined up that you're checking everything. Mine had a couple high spots, so you can see me here. I'm grinding away what's left of where I didn't get those cuts exactly straight and exactly perfect. And then I had a couple spot welds on the housing too, where I'd already put this up there before to do the other cover. Now I'm just getting it lined up, gonna make a good tack right here and get that part in so I can make sure whenever I do the actual cover part that it's lined up correctly, and I can really make sure that my tacks are in there good where they need to be. Now we'll pop the cover off and we'll continue tacking on the inside. I always recommend with stuff like this to do a lot of tack welds. That way you can try to minimize it pulling while you weld. But here I am welding the inside up. You want to make sure you get good penetration so it keeps your gear oil in there, because this is your only line of defense against the leak. Then I'll weld the outside. I always weld the inside first because it kind of helps. I feel like it helps to keep it from pulling to that side. If anything, I'd kind of want it to pull a little in instead of out. This is a plate that I came up with. It's mainly for looks. The 15 bolt shave from TMR, it has a really big lip. I guess the way they designed their cover is a lot different than the Motobilt. So it just left a huge gap. And I guess I could have just trimmed it off flat or something like that. But I really just wanted to do this because I just thought it would look cooler. So I did that. And I guess it will help kind of protect the ring gear, and it'll support that ramp, so to speak, if I did hit a rock on there. Because that's a 1/4 inch plate, and the cover's 1/4 inch and 3/8 outer ring. There was still a little gap when I got done, so I grabbed a piece of 3/16 that I found and put that in there as well. Again, it's more of just for aesthetics than it is for actual protection, but I guess it would help some. Ideally, I'd like to start over and build my own cover from scratch if I could figure out how to do the cover, the ring bolt pattern. But maybe one day that'll be another project. Here, since the way the cover slants down, I had to cut some pieces as kind of a filler to go in the side. You'll see in the finished pictures kind of what it looks like and why I had to do that. But just getting them all lined up and just cutting little pieces in there to make as a filler so I don't have to fill it with a huge weld and it look horrible. Now I'm just trying to burn everything in and get all the welding finished up. I'm not that great of a welder, but I try my best. What's that old saying? Grinder and paint will make you the welder you ain't. So that's definitely what treatment these will get. I'll just kind of grind them down to where they look good and paint them up. Turned out okay. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it'll do. Here's the finished pics. As always, like and subscribe. Help me out.